Welcome. My name is Rob McRae with the Democrats of Rocky River PAC Committee. We're thrilled to have City Council candidate Lisa Havemann here today to talk to, who is running for Rocky River City Council at large. And thanks for coming today to your own office. Appreciate that, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Thanks for taking time out of your day. As we speak, we are only 3 days from the election. People are voting early right now. Pretty exciting.
I went and voted early.
But so you're at the home stretch here. Tell me what your experience has been like so far on the campaign trail about speaking to folks in Rocky River, and what are they thinking?
Yeah, well, aside from the unpredictability of the weather, it's been really great. So I really enjoy getting out and meeting all the different, as many residents as I possibly can. I've been visiting all the different neighborhoods, and I think that's been so useful and probably has been the most to prepare me because every neighborhood has such a unique personality and people have very
Mhm.
different concerns depending on where they live. And obviously, I don't live everywhere, so
Yeah, it sounds like your background, professional background, is going to be a good complement to the folks who are already there, who may have backgrounds in other aspects of business,
Mhm.
or in this case, we've got some attorneys
Right.
who are on our.
Right. I think I bring a fresh perspective. I mean, even just with the fire station, excuse me, moving, they recently moved it to the service garage while they're doing the construction, and they had to remove the underground fuel tanks that were present at the old location. And I've done a lot of tank removal, so it was interesting
Oh, really?
talking.
Okay.
Yep, as part of my environmental engineering background, we did a lot of underground storage tank removal and the new fuel storage is above ground. So it was interesting, talking to the chief about the fire chief about the removal and the new containment system and all those sorts of things. So I just you know I think I would probably ask questions that the rest of the council members might not think to ask. So
Yeah, and
I mean, I think it was all done correctly, but it's just nice to you know have some of that knowledge there.
when we have outside contracts we have to hire to do this work, you'll be a good person to oversee the paperwork and see if this makes sense, is from a perspective of somebody who is familiar with proposal documents for projects, and different phases of projects, and what sounds realistic and what doesn't. So that's seems like it'd be very uh, pretty much in your wheelhouse, understanding that. As far as traffic are concerned, we've been having some traffic issues recently in the city. Can you speak to that and what you've heard from
Yeah.
residents?
So definitely traffic safety is a big topic of conversation. Um, there was already concerns from the Green Team and Mike Cleveland about, the safety for cyclists and pedestrians really, and, trying to get lanes, bike lanes for their safety, but also pedestrian safety has been an issue lately. There's been a couple accidents, and I know the city has been trying to do things to sort of slow traffic or calm traffic. Obviously, more needs to be done since there were two accidents, but that's definitely a big concern. And then also the traffic around schools in general, just because with all the drop off pickup, it just really increases the volume. So it's there's kids walking to school, biking to school, people dropping everyone off, and it's everyone's distracted and in a hurry. So there's definitely concerns about street safety.
Just on the general topic of safety and security, you've had a chance to speak to the police chief,
Mhm.
haven't you, during your
Yes.
preparation for this
Yeah, so there were some
position?
ordinances that had come up recently that people were concerned about prohibiting sleeping and camping in the parks and low speed and underspeed vehicles. Those ordinances are on hold right now while they're doing more research. But I wanted to find out like what caused those, sparked those ordinances to come about and what they hope to gain, you know, uh, by passing them. And while I met with him, we also discussed a lot about street safety and ways to improve those. The speed cushions, the electronic sign or speed warnings, whether those things work and what other kind of things they can do to sort of help slow down traffic. And I think a lot of the issue too, when I was talking with the chief, is not even necessarily the speed, but the lack of stopping at lights and
Yeah,
stop signs.
yeah.
He felt that that might we were talking about that might actually be more of an issue than the speed.
But as I mentioned, you're speaking to a lot of residents, and your plan is to continue to have a good dialogue with essentially all residents of the city, since you're an at-large candidate, and you have a Building Bridges
I
newsletter
was going to mention
that
it.
you've started. Go ahead and tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about
so
that.
I have a newsletter. They can sign up on my website, lisahavemann.com. They can also, people can read past issues if they don't want to sign up, or if they want to see whether they would want to sign up. And I don't just share information about my campaign, I share information about the city that I learned going to city council meetings or other activities, that and people tell me about, like the historical society or the green team, or just that I hear, from people talking about it. I think people should know about it, then I put it in there.
Yep.
I did my last newsletter. I mentioned the Heritage Loan Program, which has a great 2% interest rate, but that's going away in 2026. So if people want to take advantage of that, they should definitely apply and get approved before the end of the year. Things like that.
So a big issue in Rocky River always is trash collection, and that kind of segues into, uh, you know, right now we've got an interesting combination of services we provide in Rocky River. People are for the most part satisfied, but now there is some discussion about the cost of our, uh, our little trucks, scooters, if you will. And I know that in cases where folks have a long driveway, it's convenient for them to have these scooters so they don't have to kind of haul their trash out to the streets. So did you get any sense from, I would think since we have different uh, areas of our city that have different uh, perspectives, that you might be getting a lot of different opinions about that.
People definitely have varied opinions. I would say there's three minds. There's the people who feel strongly that they want the scooters, the people who feel strongly that we should switch to a system with the large bins, and then the people who are indifferent. So, but the truth of it is that we are spending a lot on our trash collection, and that um, the waste haulers and waste disposal facilities really want to encourage people to use the large bin systems. And so the cost of us doing our own disposal, the costs just keep getting higher. So by switching, we could save, it's not a small amount, it's, $5 million over the next few years that we
Wow.
would save by
Wow.
switching. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
that's
big,
huge.
big number. I believe that's what they said, but it was in the millions. So it's a lot. And I personally agree. I don't really like the way the big bins look, and they're hard to pull around. But on the upside, they would be collected in one day. They could do the whole city. I mean, I would be concerned about everyone's jobs. Obviously, I wouldn't want to lose any jobs. But maybe they could divert or reassign people into other services. Like if you do have a long driveway, or you're not able to haul your trash out, perhaps there could be, a service you could sign up for, and we could have city employees come and pull those bins out for people.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
There you go.
You know.
So that's a good way to compromise.
Yeah. So I we could try and make, you'll never make everybody happy, but maybe if at some point, even if you want something, if you can't afford it, you have to make a change. So it might be an unpopular decision, but maybe there's ways to sort of mitigate that so that it makes it more pleasing. And change is always difficult. So.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, people are used to things the way they are, and that's the way I kind of realize that it's time for me to start thinking about bagging my trash when I hear the darn sound of that golf cart in my neighborhood. It's a reminder that maybe I should.
That's true.
Start hustling, and
Yeah.
so I find myself like bagging up things. I hear the sound of that.
Right.
That little scooter.
One thing I think we could do an improvement on is sort of the recycling education. I hear a lot of complaints from people about how their blue bag recycling is getting just thrown away. And I even have talked to some of the trash collectors about that. And the thing is, the solid waste disposal fees are a set amount per ton, and then the recycling is another price. But contaminated recycling is more than both of those. So the city, understandably, they've given instructions to the people collecting the trash that if they see any, contaminated recycling, like say a broken glass is recyclable, but your broken drinking glass is not. or, wish recycling, things that people think should be recyclable but actually are not. So if they see things like that in that there, they will just throw away the blue bag. So I had some thoughts of how they could improve, recycling education, because I think the people who are recycling would like it to go to recycling. And I don't think they would be offended if you tell them what they're doing wrong, so that those materials actually do get into the recycling facility. One of those that the green team has suggested before were oops stickers. You just put them right on the bag and explain why their bag is not,
That's good to get the feedback,
yeah, is
because
not going
otherwise
to be
it's,
acceptable. Yeah, and then I had another thought. If a lot of times the city sends out those postcards of what you can recycle, but it would be nice if it was like a little magnet with a QR code. You could just put it right in your kitchen, and then
sure.
when you're going to throw something away, if you're not sure, you just scan that QR code because we all have our phones on us, and then you find out whether or not your item is recyclable. So
That sounds easy,
I
and
thought it would be, and you
just drop that on
it's
your
right at the source.
refrigerator, or maybe that sticker, just to remind yourself.
Yeah,
Because I think people have the intention of working to keep a green economy and maintaining the beauty of our city, and they want to recycle. But certainly, if they're doing things incorrectly, not getting any feedback,
right. There's a lot of confusion.
there's a lot of confusion, and it sounds like there's ultimately a cost above and beyond just the regular, just for contaminated
Right.
recycling. There's another area where, as a civil engineer in your past work experience, you can understand the environmental aspects of and the importance of the sewers, and in segregating storm sewer water from sanitary.
Right.
And we've had some I don't want to say violations, but we've had some issues, I believe, with our wastewater treatment plant that I guess have been addressed. But if anything in the future comes along that we have to address, you'll be able to kind of interpret
Right.
the
So
findings that they have come across.
yeah. So the way the city of Rocky River is set up, we have what's called inverted sewers. So they're above and below. And what happens is when the stormwater sewer leaks, then it leaks into the sanitary sewer. And so during big storm events, you're getting a lot of stormwater in there. There's also an issue that a lot of the residential homes, mine included, have storm sewers that were tied into their sanitary sewers. So the city has been trying, they're actually under an agreement with the EPA to reduce what's called their sanitary sewer overflows. And they're doing that by replacing the sewers in the public right of way so that they're not that over under design. But you still have the impact of the residences that have those, their storm sewers tied into their sanitary sewer, feeding into those. So they've asked residents to try and make repairs, which can be costly. I know my own estimate was $11,000. So that's a lot of money that people were not anticipating using on something like the sewers in their home. I do think there's some ways that we could sort of help residents come up with low cost alternatives to that. Maybe capping their downspouts at the ground and splashing them out in their flower beds if there's room. Just kind of helping them. Also, if they get like really high estimates, to sort of review those and see, is this really appropriate, or is there something else that could be done? Because I know a lot of people have expressed, frustration that they're supposed to make this expensive repair when it wasn't their fault that it was designed that way in the first place. So,
And in general, some of our sewers are over 100 years old, are they not?
yeah, well, it's an old city,
Yeah. Well, I
old
mean, and
infrastructure.
but there's such a I mean, in order to maintain the beauty of our city and maintain safe streets, which don't have a lot of water buildup, and just to manage manage nature in some ways, that seems like a project that city councils really they have to be on the ball on, especially in our city, just to keep everything.
Yeah, and I think they've done a great job with all the sewer work that they've been doing. I mean, it's been very proactive in trying to take care of those, reducing flooding in people's basements. Obviously, that's something you don't want.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they definitely address those issues.
Yeah. It's not an exciting topic for residents to talk about, but it is very, very important, and it's good
It's
to
not
have.
a glamorous way to spend money.
Right. and it's, but it's certainly good to have city council and someone like yourself on city council to monitor it and to, give heads ups if we need to invest more money in repairs or do some preventative medicine type things we can do now. But okay, so
Fridays, I love those.
is that right?
Yeah, at the senior center.
Yeah, but I mean, in general, factoring in that we have a large number of seniors in our community, maybe I'm up. I heard the numbers saying up to 25% retirees. So our senior center is a great place for folks to participate in some things that keep them active, and the facility is beautiful and the people seem to be great. And so the do you think that because we have so many seniors in our city, we have some different priorities? Should we do some things maybe to help them besides the senior center? I guess just on city council, you're in a position where you can just keep everyone informed about, keep seniors informed about what programs are out there available, maybe getting rides to
Right.
appointments, that sort of thing. I think there's services for that, and just maybe wellness checks,
Sure.
that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think an important part of being on council is keeping residents informed of options, of things that are out there. Senior, all the whole age span, and I do think it would be nice if we could offer some services to seniors to help them stay in their homes if they want to, age in place, as they say.
Mhm.
Maybe snow removal, leaf removal. I know when my mom lived in Parma, they had a program. They had applied for a grant where they could apply for like fall detection equipment, that they could
Oh,
give to
great.
senior
Yeah.
residents. Yeah, the fire departments would come along and come around and install and check their fire alarms.
Smoke
Yeah,
detectors.
yeah. So the little things like that would be, I think, helpful as well. Just kind of nice service to provide. I know there are some things you can sign up for at the senior center, like leaf collection. I know the Cub Scouts and Boy
Okay.
Scouts help with that,
Oh, really?
but it's sort
Okay.
of a volunteer situation.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
then I know one resident was telling me she didn't even know the deadline had passed already, and she was like it was too late to sign up for it, but she had no idea that that it was so early. So, just some. I think we've improved in communication, but obviously there's always more communication that we can improve on.
I even heard there might be a program available to help seniors get handrails installed in places in their home.
Oh, see,
If they have, like I'm in a position now where I'm looking at my steps going up to my second floor, and I'm realizing that I really don't have sufficient handrail.
right. Just that short trip can
Yeah,
be
yeah.
dangerous.
So if there are programs that will at least connect seniors with reputable vendors who can do that work and maybe get some financial relief when they free would be amazing if
Right. Right. Or
agencies would
perhaps
come in
like
for
when they
free.
do like the sidewalk replacement program, the contractor who does that work, offers a discount to people who have to replace squares on their own. I mean, maybe they could have something like that with, it, I'm just, brainstorming. But,
Sure,
maybe
yeah.
if there's a couple, people who work with the city to, kind of reach out to the residents and see, who needs assistance. Maybe there could be some sort of
I mean,
group pricing sort of thing.
and I think there are contractors who want to volunteer their time and
That's fine.
services, and maybe it's just a matter of connecting them with our residents in certain cases.
And I did work with the senior center a couple of years ago. They started a program, Reach. It's River Elder Adults Call for Help, so that for people who are feeling isolated or
Mhm.
just struggling in some way, they can call and speak to somebody, even if they just need somebody to listen to them, or
Yeah.
or if they need any assistance. So it's nice that they have that resource that they can call and just talk
Right.
to somebody.
Well, that's very meaningful, and it's above and beyond the having the building and the place for folks to congregate. Those kind of services that you're describing are also so important to the quality of life of our residents. and you know, so, nice picture of your family here
Oh,
in
thank
the
you. Yeah.
flyer that just came out.
Yeah, I have good things to say about the schools. I had two kids go through the schools, K through 12. That's why moved here after we got married, was, for the schools. Um, one of them is a junior at University of Dayton, and she's studying pharmaceutical chemistry. And the oldest is done with college, and he's working for Northrop Grumman, a defense contractor in Maryland. And he's an engineer. So yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. So I think there's always challenges going through the schools. Getting the resources you need for your kids, and that's always a work in progress. But I think good people on the school board kind of looking out for those sorts of things too. Um, and I know the school board is also limited because they don't actually implement the day-to-day operations of the school. So that's
Right.
another thing to keep in mind. It's sometimes some things are not, they choose the people, but then they don't necessarily get to implement. They have to rely on the people that they choose to run the schools the way you would like. But I mean, overall, I felt like my kids got a good education, and I hope that everyone else's kids have ultimately a good experience.
Well, people are focused right now on the football game tonight.
Yes,
The
yes.
big
It's
important
unfortunate.
first
It's right in
playoff
the
game.
middle of trick or treating. So I hope everyone's safe out there.
So we're gonna spend an hour trick or treating.
Run over to the game.
I guess that's the way to go. Just kind of an odd the way the schedule played out this year, but
Yeah.
Pirates are looking good this year, and they are starting their journey. I think you need to win 6 playoff games to win the state championship. So fingers crossed there as to the.
As a band parent, I miss
Is that
as a band parent, I miss going to all the games and hearing all the music and everything.
my wife was in her marching band in high school, and people are people even as they get later in their adulthood, if they were in the band, they're still very proud of it. And
Yeah.
they
Well, I wasn't in the band, but both my kids were. So I spent a lot of time
what did they play?
chaperoning.
What
So
instruments?
including the 20+ hour bus trip to Florida. But my
Oh, what did they march in like one of the
yes,
parades,
yes,
New Year's
at
parades?
Orlando. They
Wow,
went, yeah, in January, I believe.
20-hour bus ride.
Yes, yes, it was quite an adventure. Some ice flew off of a semi truck into the windshield of one of
Oh no,
the buses in our caravan. So we spent the night in an Exxon parking lot. It was quite an
jeez,
adventure. But we
wow.
had a good time. We did have a good time. So, but my son, he played saxophone, and my daughter played percussion.
Like a real heavy drum.
Well, so with the percussionist, you don't necessarily play the same instrument every year, but she was cymbals, and then she did the snare drum, and then when they do the concerts the rest of the year, they play all the instruments. I don't know if you've ever watched one of their concerts. The percussionists in the back are always moving around because they're going
Sure.
from instrument to instrument, so it's kind of neat. Yeah. But
Yeah.
she did complain about how heavy they were, and one time I put it on, it really does kind of cut into your shoulders. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, some of those. I mean, they have some on wheels. It seems like they have to have other folks. Maybe
I've
only
seen that
certain
before.
bands have the
Yeah,
larger.
I've seen that. Some of them wheel it out there.
Yeah, I forget. You've been endorsed by quite a few groups, have you not?
Yes.
You want to tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about
So,
that?
well, one of the exciting ones I was endorsed by just recently, Amy Acton, is 314 Action. It's a group that supports STEM candidates, doctors, scientists, for becoming candidates. So I thought that was pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
They sought me out and endorsed me. But on my website, you can see the list of all the other endorsements, all the other council members, and the law director, their endorsements as well. I mean, the Democratic council members, I should say, not all of them. But
Dr. Acton is great. I mean,
yeah.
that's another thing that we're doing as a group is we're going to be working hard to get her elected next year for governor of Ohio.
Yeah.
But she's much appreciative of STEM based candidates with that kind of background, being herself in the medical field.
Yeah, she had a really interesting background. I heard her speak recently. So
Mm-hmm.
people should, well, like anybody you're going to vote for, you should check them out and see what you think of them.
Yep. Thanks very much.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
All right.